What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So the day has finally arrived. We have gotten to the date that we have all been anticipating, and this is the mega undefeated, undisputed welterweight showdown. Tonight, between undefeated, three-division world champion, former junior welterweight undisputed world champion, currently the reigning WBO World Boxing Organization welterweight world champion, superstar boxer who is widely considered by many to be the number one best pound for pound fighter in the world, in Terence Bud Crawford, who is 39 wins, no losses, no draws, 30 big wins by way of knockout. He is 35 years of age, 5'8", with a 74-inch arm reach, as he's going to take on undefeated, unified, three-belt WBA, WBC, IBF, welterweight world champion superstar boxer who is widely considered by many to be top two, if not number one, definitely top five, pound for pound, best fighters in the world, in Errol the Truth Spence Jr. Errol Spence Jr. is 28 wins, no losses, no draws, 22 big wins by way of knockout. He is 33 years of age, 5'8", 5'9.5" with a 72-inch arm reach. With that said, today, July 29th, Las Vegas, Nevada, T-Mobile Arena, Errol Spence, Terence Crawford. The biggest fight in 40 years since we had September 16th, 1981, Sugar Ray Leonard, Thomas the Hitman Hearns. They fought for undisputed. It was a two-belt era. Just the WBA and the WBC titles was on the line. That was the most anticipated 50-50 fight in the sport of boxing. That was 1981. Since then, we've had big fights, as I always say. We've had the fight between Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao and the legend, the icon, Floyd Mayweather. That was May of 2015. It was the most lucrative, most anticipated, biggest fight in boxing history. But again, that fight wasn't truly a 50-50 fight, as Manny Pacquiao had been knocked out brutally 3 times in his career, had already had multiple draws and multiple losses, and the blueprint was out for Floyd Mayweather, who was undefeated, to beat Manny Pacquiao. The GPS was already there. We've seen Manny Pacquiao lose before. Then we have fights that were closer to 50-50, like Oscar De La Hoya and Tito Trinidad. Legends, 2 Hall of Famers. They fought, they both was undefeated, but Oscar De La Hoya, he was clearly the more skilled, superior fighter. Now, he came up short in that fight, but he put on a boxing clinic the first half of the fight, as many people expected. Tito Trinidad was front foot heavy, kept his shoulders over his toes, got knocked down by jabs, and we could see he could be outboxed. But Oscar De La Hoya, he put on a boxing clinic, and then Oscar De La Hoya decided to put it in cruise control in the second half of the fight, and well, he came up short because he made that decision. A decision that many people think still to this day that should not have went the direction of Trinidad. Then we have other legends like Marvin Hagler versus Tommy Hearns that only went 3 rounds. Then we had Roberto Duran versus Marvin Hagler. Marvin Hagler versus Sugar Ray Leonard. Tommy Hearns versus Duran. Right? Wilfred Benitez versus Duran. Tommy Hearns, Marvin Hagler. You understand? So these are big fights. But none are 50-50 like Sugar Ray Leonard and Tommy Hearns. Although Sugar Ray Leonard had already suffered a loss, a blemish on his record, to Roberto Duran. But he came back and won in the best way possible for him and in the worst way possible for Roberto Duran, as he made Roberto Duran quit the famous words, 2 words, no mas, no more. That's the worst way you can lose in the sport of boxing. So it all but almost erased the fact that Sugar Ray Leonard had a loss, the fact that he came back and he beat Duran and made him quit. And so that leads us back to this fight. It's truly, truly a 50-50 fight that we have if we ever had one. This is it, right? This is a fight where we have 2 guys that are undefeated, Two guys that are top 5 pound for pound best fighters in the world. Two guys that don't know how to lose. Two guys that are highly accomplished. Two guys that have a massive, massive chip on their shoulder. Two guys that are highly motivated. Two guys that have huge pride. Two guys that don't know how to go backwards, that don't know how to back down. Terence Crawford, he's only went the distance 3 times in his entire career since becoming a world champion in 2014. And in one of those fights, he fought Victor Postol, and he dropped him twice in that fight. He went the distance with his first title opportunity with Ricky Burns in the UK, and then with Ray Beltran. Then he went the distance with Victor Postol, but he dropped him twice. He has more knockouts than Terence Crawford, than ERROL Spence has fights. ERROL Spence is considered the eye collector, the bone collector. He physically, mentally, and emotionally just breaks his opponents down. He's a big southpaw, fundamentally sound, technically sound. ERROL Spence has broken 5 guys' orbital bone on the verge. That being Kell Brook for his first title opportunity. That being Chris Algieri. That being Lamont Peterson in title defenses. That being Danny Swift Garcia. That also being Yordenis Ugas. So in 2 title unification bouts, and the title unification bout in his first title opportunity, he broke orbital bones and stopped his opponent in the 11th, which was Kell Brook, and in the 10th, which was Yordenis Ugas, breaking their orbital bones. And in the case of Ugas, he broke his ribs, nose, and orbital bone. So you see, the rubber's going to meet the road. And tonight, we're going to find out who truly is number 1 pound for pound best fighters in the world. And with that said, that leads me to my final prediction that many people have been waiting for. Now, I've been on a skid, not so much of a winning streak, but I am familiar with the sport of boxing. And so, Terence Crawford is extremely versatile, switches from southpaw to orthodox, power in both hands, has unorthodox angles that he uses. He has an awkwardness about his style. He's very twitchy, very fast hands, very athletic, but he has an extremely high ring IQ. ERROL Spence, as I stated, fundamentally sound. ERROL Spence is the Tim Duncan as a reference. If you're familiar with the NBA, National Basketball Association, Tim Duncan is a Hall of Famer, a 5-time world champion. Tim Duncan is a legend, and he was fundamentally sound. No flash, no flair, no gimmicks about him. Just straight up and down. Hard hat, lunge pail. That's who ERROL Spence is in the sport of boxing. And so Terence Crawford, over the course of his career at 147, this is the 9th fight he's had. He fought Jeff Horn. He fought Amir Khan, Jose Benavidez Jr. He fought Sean Porter. He fought Kell Brook, Egis Kavalauskas. He fought David Avanesian, right? So Terence Crawford has been in this division for quite some time. But Terence Crawford, he's knocked out all 8 of his opponents, 7 or 8, all his fights at welterweight. But he's done it predominantly in a southpaw stance. When you watch the fight with Terence Crawford and Kell Brook, Kell Brook's jab was giving Terence Crawford problems for as long as it lasted. Once Terence Crawford was able to compute the information, he switched to southpaw, and it was downhill. If you watch my live stream, when I talked about that fight, I stated before the round, he stopped Kell Brook in the 4th round. In the 2nd and 3rd round, I said Terence Crawford figured it out. He switched to southpaw at the end of the round, and it's over. And it was over extremely quickly after that. ERROL Spence is more of a workman, high work rate. Very, very durable. Errol Spence goes to the body. Errol Spence changes levels. Now he can get caught, as I always say, in that no man's land. The area where he's trying to work his way in and then trying to work his way out, he makes fundamental flaws as he leaves himself extremely open with hooks. When he throws his hooks, he's off balance and very wide and ducks his head down to the right and blinds his own offense and his defense and is susceptible to getting caught with uppercuts, a specialty of Terence Bud Crawford. That's a specialty of Terence Bud Crawford. Errol Spence snaps right back though, right? And he's durable. But Errol Spence, he gets caught if you watch that fight with your Danish Ugas. He gets caught and he gets clipped. But Terence Crawford, biggest weakness to me is that Terence Crawford flips a switch and wants to fight. He wants to be a dog. And I'm not talking about his ring IQ or lack thereof. I'm talking about his brain and his heart telling him, let's fight. Let's mix it up. And then he finds himself getting hurt. He finds himself getting buzzed, as he did with Sean Porter, Igor Kavalauskas, Yuriokis Gamboa. And so my final prediction is this, is that Errol the True Spence Jr. will win a split decision over Terence Crawford. And I believe in the 11th round, he will drop Terence Crawford, not hurt him, not damage him, but a knockdown, somewhat of a flash knockdown like he did Sean Porter, with in between exchanges, and Terence Crawford gets hit with something he doesn't see and gets dropped, and that's going to be the difference in the fight. I have it 5-5 going into the 10th round. Going into the 11th round. I think it's going to be 5-5 going into the 10th round. Going into the 11th round. And I think the knockdown in the 11th round is going to prove to be the difference. And Errol the True Spence Jr. is going to win a split decision en route to a massive rematch because the fight is going to live up to the billing. I think Terence Crawford is going to look back on some of the mistakes that he made in this fight and going to look to rectify them in the rematch. But his heart is going to get in the way of his fundamentals and his discipline. And he's going to open up and make a mistake, get clipped by Errol Spence, and possibly have Errol Spence in a bad position. But he's going to get clipped, get dropped, and that's going to prove to be the difference in the fight. That he could possibly be winning going into the 11th round. He could be winning 6-4 going into the 11th round. But I think it's going to be 5-5 going into the 11th round. And a knockdown is going to be the difference. And they both going to let him fly in the 12th round. And the 12th round is going to be a draw. So let's see how this unfolds and plays out and see if I'm right. And that's all I got for y'all. Make sure you hit the like button. Drop a comment in the comment section. Let me know what y'all think. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notifications. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, signing off. I'm gone. Peace.